So this was brought to my attention by one of my sisters-in-laws. She had posted that last year she had took her children to the Martin Luther King Day parade in Texas, and I just now got around to seeing it, and I was like, I could not believe what I seen leading the parade, or I won't say leading, but they were in the parade, right? But it makes sense with everything we've learned about Martin Luther King, about who he really is, or who he really was, I should say. It's past tense. How his speeches were Masonically coded. I'm just like, man, that's crazy. And then I realized something too. I'm trying to find other photos, because I wasn't going to use her video because I don't have permission to, put her or her children out there. But I was like, I was looking at this and I'm like, man, why is it the only one I can find right now is Fox 4 in Dallas, right? And I was like, oh, 4, right? Well, Fox, right? Fox is supposed to be somehow be connected to the number 6. I just don't remember. It's been a while. But 4, when Black Child video production breaks down, the news stations are run by Masons, and I'm like, is this the reason why the only ones that cover the pictures of these dudes just like this was this station, plus the number 4, right? He also did his video on Dwayne Wade. No, I wasn't Dwayne Wade. What was it? Dwayne Ellington, the basketball player for the Lakers, and there was some other guy that he did. Taj Gibson? Another basketball player or something like that. He did a video on them, on how the sacrifice of the children were for the Masonic contracts to continue playing. It was like at 4:00, this relative of this NBA superstar was found dead on the side of the road with $400 in their pocket, and it was on Highway 444, that kind of thing. And I was like, man, Fox 4, right there. So let's see. North Texas City makes adjustment to Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration.
While some events are canceled or postponed, many are not. Several cities around the Metroplex are still hosting parades to celebrate the weekend. But they did have to make some adjustments to other events happening indoors. Whether rain or sleet or freezing temperatures, Garland's parade honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has always moved forward. He never canceled on us, said Gwendolyn Daniels, Garland's MLK event and parade coordinator. So we think it's important to the best of our abilities to never cancel this parade.
And that was the picture that caught my eye when I was trying to find an image of what she had posted from her video. I was like, oh, there we go. The most worshipful Prince Hall, Grand Lodge of Texas, Lodge of District 20. And I can't make out the other writings they have there. Look at it. Isn't it who was it that dressed like that? That Napoleon kind of style, French. And I was like, man, I was looking at these pictures, or this picture specifically, and I'm like, you can't really tell the difference between them and the Black Hebrew Israelites, the way they style their clothes. But let's read on, or get it to read on. Here we go. He never failed on us. That was at civil rights. And civil rights set us back, in my opinion. Because civil rights was then able to make codes out of what might have happened or what could have happened, and then call that law, and it puts more of a burden on you. Look at the driver's license, right? You're convicted of a code violation. Now your privilege, which is actually a right, but they've coded it with a privilege. You have the right to travel, but they tell you that driving is a privilege. I mean, open up any driver's manual and it says right there on the first few pages that you'll read that driving is a privilege. So why do I need a privilege if I have a right that was already given to me? But now that right can be suspended, right? If you violated, this code here, which is, a civil matter. Look at all the other things that, they take away if all your civil rights for voting and things of this nature. If you violate one of these fictional codes here. Hold on here.
For the first time since the parade started more than 30 years ago, last year's event went virtual. However, this year, even with extreme wind and cold expected on Saturday and in the midst of another COVID-19 surge, the parade is pushing forward. We know challenges persist, whether weather-related or anything else related, said Garland NAACP President Ricky McNeil. Challenges don't stop. Therefore, we cannot stop. There's still work to do. Organizers had to make some adjustments and canceled Sunday's indoor events, which typically feature performances from various youth groups. But they have more than 100 entries participating in Saturday's parade. Other events, like the City of Fort Worth's Parade Monday, are canceled. But another parade in East Fort Worth will still kick off Saturday morning at 11 a.m. off Ramey Avenue and end on Wilbarger Street.
There you go. We'll finish it off with this. Don't want that.
The city of Arlington had a whole weekend of events scheduled, but it is postponed until a later date. And this year, many events in Dallas will be virtual, including an Equity Indicators Symposium Friday morning with city stakeholders. It is our role in supporting departments in understanding how harmful it is to communities of color and lower-income neighborhoods when we don't fully understand the unique challenges and disparities that communities face, said Dr. Lindsay Wilson with the City of Dallas. Other events happening both in person and virtually included Friday's MLK oratory competition among Dallas ISD students, emceed by Fox 4's Clarice Tinsley. Participants at the event spoke about how Dr. King would assess our progress in achieving his vision for America. We should not go backward but forward. Dr. King would remind us to study hard about nonviolence, racism and American voting, said fifth grader Diamond McKinney. And he'd constantly tell us not to go backward but forward. Virtual MLK events in Dallas will continue Friday at 7 p.m. with a candle lighting ceremony. Saturday's parade in Garland at 10 a.m. near Embry Park.
You think about that, right? Think about the civil rights that they gave us, right? Because when you think of the civil rights, I think about the Jews, nonetheless, and how at the time, and I'm still looking for it. And I know I mentioned this before. There was a video that Judge Joe Brown talks about how the Jews were pushing for civil rights more than the blacks were, right? And this is why they were behind funding Martin Luther King with the Rothschilds and things of that nature, right? And he says that there was a law that whatever you did to a Negro, you could do to a Jew, right? So they had to get in there and create fictitious rights, that would allow them to be protected. Now, in comparison to the Jews versus, the American black man, he's gone further, right? And isn't it interesting too? You think about this, right? They keep saying you can't go backwards, you got to go forward, right? And I think about how in our quest, we're going backwards. And what I mean by that is, like, we're going back into history. We're going back into the past. We're going back into what was hidden from us to understand who we are more, what we're supposed to be doing in this time and age. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going back and learning how things were supposed to be so we can understand how we can fix the problem. I mean, what does the book of Proverbs tell you? Sit down and talk to the elderly, right? Learn. They've had all this time on earth that we haven't had. So you're supposed to sit and learn from them so you can gain that understanding of what is going on. You gain a picture of it, of what's going on, so you can better address what you're going through. I mean, it could be anything, right? Talk to them about relationships, talk to them about, the past and, the history. Talk to them about, math, anything, right? They'll talk to you. They want to talk. So I think it's interesting. They're always saying, "Oh, we can't go back. We got to go forward." Well, if you're going forward, if you're not making any progress, then what are you really doing? Like, look at all the Black Lives Matters riots, right? What came from it? What became of that? What did they gain that helped improve the lives of all those that protested? People that claim to be black and non-black. Because what I'm seeing, it only benefited a few, and those few had an agenda. And it left everybody else that participated with just memories. Well, are those memories going to propel you forward? Like, what are they going to do? And you turn around, and it's like, I just think that's interesting how that stands out, how that's the repeated key phrase. You can't go backwards, go forward. And it's like, I mean, to me, it's almost sinister. Okay, then what's in the past that you don't want you to look back at? Well, we know, because we're learning about it now. But yeah, I mean, once I seen that parade and I looked this up, I'm like, there's no doubt in my mind. There's none whatsoever. That dude was a Mason, And they still honor him today. Because if he wasn't a Mason, do they honor him?